welcome to a new vlog and video of the Cruise Vibes, and today we're going to take a look at my short 24 hours cruise with the Excellence Pearl of Reisebüro Mittelthurgau. We are going from Basel to Breisach and back, and here on the map you can see our route today. We are starting very early in the morning. As the cruise is starting in the morning in Basel, I have to get up very early. I was driving my car to Frankfurt. There I parked a bit outside of the city center because close to the main station you need to pay 40 euros per day. So I took a cheaper parking garage and took the tram to the main station, and from there I took one of the first trains of the day to get to Basel SBB, the main station of Basel in Switzerland. Here you can see my train, and this train will take me now to Basel. I have to be there at 9:30, so I chose a train that is supposed to be arriving there at 8:30, so I have a bit of a backup, just in case that Deutsche Bahn is delayed once again, and that's also what I would recommend for you if you are planning to do the 24 hours Excellence cruise and you're going there by train from Germany. I used the time for a second breakfast, and then I went to the pickup point outside of the station where the coach of Excellence is picking you up. And firstly we went to the Vitra Design Museum. Museum I already visited twice. First time I properly visited it, and then the second time I just left from there and went home. But now it was not at the end of the cruise but at the beginning of the cruise, so I had to go there again, and I will now show you a few things you can do if you have already seen the main museum. This is the main museum, so if you haven't been there, this is the place to visit. But if you have been there already, there are some other buildings. For example, this building has changing exhibitions. In this case it was an exhibition about sports and Nike, so that was quite interesting because it was new for me, and probably next time when I will be there will be a different exhibition. And also you can walk all the way around the area, and on the other side of the area there are some more places you can visit. Also the buildings are pretty interesting with nice architecture, and on the other side there you'll find the depot where you can also see some design furniture. It's also quite interesting, and here at this part there is also a restaurant and a cafe, and that was a pretty nice cafe. I had a nice third breakfast here, as you can see, with a very high quality. There's also a cafe in the restaurant in the main building, but I think that this one here is a bit more fancy, has a bit higher quality of food, so I would recommend going there. And then it was time to head back to our coach, and we were going finally to our ship, the Excellence Pearl. The Vitra Design Museum is in Germany, but now we went back into Switzerland to our docking location in Basel-Lübeck. As you can see, there are quite a lot of ships here in the port today. And here you can see my very small Excellence Pearl, the ship that I showed to you in the last video. And we will now board the ship, and as soon as everybody was on board it was already time to leave our docking location. First we were brought into the panoramic lounge for first drink and of course a small lunch. And in the meantime we were already departing. Very nice weather today. We were turning right next to our docking location, and now we're heading for Breisach in Germany. Here you can see my light lunch that was offered as soon as we are getting on board. And now it's time to take a look at my wonderful cabin on the main deck with windows that can't be opened. Cabins are a bit smaller than on other ships. That's typical for those small ships. They have a size of 12 square meters, but they have everything you need. There's a lot of storage space. Here you can see one of the wardrobes, so as you can see there's a lot of space available. Here you can see the second wardrobe, so even for one of the longer cruises of this ship you will have enough space. Some additional space here next to the desk. On both sides, power sockets are also available here next to the desk. Some more storage space on this side. And then we have a very nice and comfortable bed, and of course we can also take a look at the bathroom. Also the bathroom is very nice and modern, just like the cabin, completely refurbished in a new and modern style with a proper shower. On many small ships you will only find shower curtains, but here we have a proper shower. Then we reached the first lock. We'll pass through a lot of locks. The weather was getting a bit grey, not so nice as in the beginning. Here we are already approaching the second lock, and in the second lock we had to wait for quite a while until we were going down and were able to get out of the lock. As you can see, it took quite a while to go through this lock, and then we are continuing heading for Breisach. In the meantime, I went into the panoramic lounge for a first drink, and just a couple of minutes later it was already time for the welcome cocktail with a glass of sparkling wine and the introduction of the hotel manager, captain and cruise manager, of course, as always, with some nice canapes. In the meantime, we approached our docking location in Breisach. In this case we were docked quite far away from the city center, but that was no problem at all because it was not the idea of this cruise to actually leave the ship. It was just a possibility to take a short walk after dinner. Now it's time for dinner, and the food quality is very, very good on board of Excellence ships. You know that from my other videos from Excellence ships, and of course the Excellence Pearl. It's no exception from that. As you can see, the food quality is also amazing here. The food tasted very, very good. It was a very high class dinner. Also, the main course was amazing. It's not only looking amazing, as you can see here, it was also tasting as good as it looks. Several courses, all of them in a very high quality, so it was a fantastic dinner, and of course also a cup of coffee is included. I then actually took the chance to step ashore for a couple of minutes just to take a few pictures of the ship. The docking location is pretty new, and it is quite far away. It's actually in France, even though Breisach is in Germany, and if you want to go to the city center you have to go to the end of the island that we are on, cross the bridge, and then you still have to walk into the city center, so it's much further away from the city center than the other docking locations. But for us that was no problem, as it was just intended for a short walk, for example, and I took the chance to take a few pictures of the ship, but then it was time to head back on board, and afterwards I went to sleep. Next morning I woke up already close to Basel, again with a very nice weather, blue sky, the sun was shining, so perfect weather conditions here in Basel in Switzerland. We were docking at the same docking location in Basel-Lübeck again, and it was then time for a very, very nice breakfast with a very, very good buffet with a lot of high quality products, a good selection of food and drinks, and additionally you can also order some food from the menu. All hot meals are coming from the kitchen, plus some other meals like this one. You can order a lot of things from the kitchen, and they are also prepared in a very, very good way. Then I went into the lounge to wait for a couple of minutes until we were called to leave the ship and head to the coaches. I used the time when everybody else was slowly walking to the coaches to take a few pictures and videos of the beautiful Excellence Pearl, as I didn't have a chance to take pictures during daylight so far. And then I went also to the coach. Arrival and departure by coach is always included with cruises of Excellence. Even if the cruises are starting in Switzerland, you still have the transportation by coach included. Here, as you can see, there are some more ships of Excellence. There were in fact quite a lot of ships there today, so there were also a lot of coaches, but it was very well organized and everybody found the correct coach in just a couple of seconds. As you can see here, there are actually quite a lot of Excellence coaches. There are multiple stops in Switzerland that you can choose from if you book a cruise with Excellence. If you're coming from any other country than Switzerland, I would recommend either using the airport of Zurich if you're arriving by plane, or if you're arriving from France or from Germany, I would recommend taking the station Basel SBB. That's also where I am heading now. Here we are already back on the highway, crossing the Rhine again, and here we are approaching the station Basel SBB, and from here I took a train back home. That will be the topic of the next video. We arrived here at 9:30, so exactly after 24 hours, and then I had some time to wait at the station. And once again, it was a fantastic experience. If you want to get to know to a ship like the Excellence Pearl, I can highly recommend doing that 24-hour Excellence experience, because it gives you much more time than other cruises with just one night. And it's a cheap but nice possibility to get to know to the Excellence Pearl, a ship that usually only offers quite long and expensive cruises. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Here you can see where the next video will be uploaded and the name of the song. As always, I'd like to say thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to comment, like, subscribe or share the video link, and I hope to see you in my next video then.